Hey guys, snarfflarf here, and welcome to Bad End Theater. This is a game about a lot of bad endings, but maybe we'll find a good one. Enter the theater. Welcome to Bad End Theater. On this stage, we shall be toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you like. Be the demon. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Play nice. You try to make friends with the human doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story does not end here. The story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time try controlling the other doll. I'm the human doll. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? Play nice. You and the demon doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this possibility. It's just not suited to my theater whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to whatever you chose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from the doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see the different outcomes. Hostile and wicked. The demon doll, I guess. For the demon doll, you're a fierce-looking guy just minding your own business. How would you interact with the human doll? Attack it. You both attack each other at once and die together. End tutorial. I'm done. Don't decide how to play? Yeah, I get it. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. All right. I've seen a playthrough of this before, but I don't know. I don't actually know how to like get to each of the endings. I gotta play through to find out. I love this little fella. They're so cute. I want to play as them. Let's the Enderling. You're a demon Enderling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyways. It's a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. I love the art style of this game. Everyone looks so cute. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she's kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. Let's not. You tell your friends you are totally not serious about the whole thing. You're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably that there's nothing to do. The others nod but don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'etat would be more effort than it's worth. But you're still gonna rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. Consider your options. Still her to quit yelling. I want to try to get to an eventual good end. When the maiden realizes you're not gonna hurt her, she regains her composure. Now she started talking to you like you're friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. You speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, because why is there conveniently only one language in the world? Demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to each have their own language? The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look, and you say, "That was just a joke, of course." She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. After a few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sounds of battle. You emerge from your room to find that a hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk! Save yourself. You look around the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad to not be in their shoes. You also feel guilty to be thinking that as you flee the castle until you remember your role not as an underling but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life, far away from any humans or demons, where you'll live peacefully alone in some deep dark forest somewhere. Deserter Underling End. Alright, reset the stage. Get involved. Plot to kill the Overlord, it's made immediately. No. We're gonna go from the hero side and fix this. It's gonna take a lot more to fix it, but... You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary, aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. But demon soldiers block your path. You kill them to gain experience. Let's flee like a coward. Forgetting your pride, you escape through your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all. This is your job. On your way to the Overlord's castle, you spot a maiden heading back towards the village. She couldn't have come from the Overlord's castle, could she? This might be the exact maiden you're currently seeking to rescue. You approach her with curiosity. You ask the maiden what she's doing. Doesn't she know the Overlord's castle is, like, right there? It's dangerous. The maiden explains that she spoke with the Overlord, and it turns out the demons never had any diabolical plans to harm the village or anyone in it. Believe her story. You have no reason to assume she's lying to you, even though her story is kind of hard to believe, and you feel you should trust her. You tell her you're pretty surprised that everyone has been wrong about the demons all along. Townspeople must be informed of this immediately. I think I might need to get every ending in order to unlock, like, the final good ending, but I'm gonna do as good as possible until then. None of these are gonna be good, though. The two of you return to the village, and they had all been so worried. They praise you for your bravery. But the maiden quickly sets the record straight. There was nothing she needed to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers look to you for explanation. You politely inform them that this isn't your story to tell. You merely ran into her on the way to the castle. She explains that the Overlord isn't interested in capturing maidens or anything of the sort. The villagers turn to you again in disbelief. They aren't being subtle about how little they trust this maiden's story. You totally believe her, but to placate these fair citizens, you volunteer to speak to the demons personally, just in case. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You're too busy thinking about what a great reliable hero you are to hear what they're saying. The town's elder voice breaks you out of your thoughts. He implores you to meet with the Overlord immediately and says they'll all keep an eye on the maiden until you return. You figure that sounds alright, but the mood is kind of intense for some reason. Did you miss something? You're unsure what's going on, but you get the feeling it might be bad to leave the maiden on her own. But she suddenly takes off running. Oh, you thought the two of you were in this together. Her actions have convinced the crowd that she's obviously been a liar and a witch from the start. People are shouting for you to hunt her and her demon friends down already, but that doesn't sound like a heroic task. You can't help but feel these people are wrong. It's up to you to catch her and talk to the demons in order to clear up this misunderstanding. You valiantly dash after the maiden towards the Overlord's castle. The air becomes dark and thick as you enter deep into demon territory. Evil miasma? No, you realize it's just normal smoke. You see the maiden ahead, but she's stopped in her tracks. The Overlord's castle is engulfed in flames. You had only taken an eye off the maiden for a second, but she's already disappeared. You get closer to the castle, but the smoke is so thick now, you think of turning back. The maiden might need your help. You can barely see. She could be impossible to find. She could have been lying to you all along. Was this a trap? Would it be worth risking your life on that chance? Your legs feel heavy. No, going in there would be suicide. You'll return to the villagers and tell them there was nothing you could do. You were too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. Bystander, hero, and A. Reset the stage. I think that A is that you can also see the same story from someone else's perspective. This is a bad end. Ah, this is the tree of everything. Oh, no. This. Alright, let's play as the maiden. Oh wait, did I set everyone's things right? I don't know if I did. You're a maiden, you live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You are told that you're fated to be captured by the overlord one day, because you're a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. Think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity? Who knows? You're in church. You pray to your god, asking why you have been born into this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You're really impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were to just hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forwards to find a demon. Just to, you know, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Introduce yourself. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. Do these characters have names? You tell them that you were thinking maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to have really been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master nonetheless. Aw, they're so cute! After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the overlord. She lectures the underling that brought you here, who is apparently told not to leave their post. You wonder what cruel punishment awaits them. But to your surprise, she lets them off easy. The underling is dismissed, and the overlord turns to you, looking very interested. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. Turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens, or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out, and something awful would happen, then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. I love the art. Look how pretty. You ask the overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. This overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. Overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude. You just got here. Maybe refuse to leave? You put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere, but you still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little, you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. So it turns out she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send out a hero after them. You realize that must be why you'd never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You've always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back at home. You kind of like being told to expect demons to come. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, a hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first, until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. Why did you leave it in the middle of church, though? This seems like a weird place. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. You're about halfway back to the village when you feel something is off. Unable to shake your concern, you look back over your shoulder. You stop in your tracks. The castle is engulfed in flames. Is Overlord alright? You can't return to the village like this. You have to know. You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't amongst them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to the touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fist against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero can pull this kind of thing off. You start to cough. The smoke is too thick. You can hardly breathe. You realize you haven't got much time left now. You desperately head towards the stairs to save yourself. The fire spread faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. You can't help but laugh. What a joke. A maiden saving the Overlord? If you just stayed true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. Selfless maiden NB. Aww. Hydration. Alright. Let's play Overlord. You're the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in your life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're new to the whole overlord thing. If you're being quite honest with yourself, you don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the higher standard like that. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What to do with this underling? Grant them the day off. You tell them to take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. A day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the overlord sure is great. You awake to a knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough? How can I be more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. You just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maid seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has ever looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. Let her stay for a while. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not at all what she expected them to be. You're glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kind of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get a hero sent out after you. That explains why the people in my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We're very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time and that you were actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. The people in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden, who is rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised that you had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. I'm assuming the skull means ending. Let them go. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while, till your door slams shut. Before you know it, everything around you is engulfed in flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you to get out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule from? What castle will they rule from if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on that thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. But I let the underling go. You'll see them in hell. Burned Overlord end. 1 of 11, 1 of 9, 1 of 10, 1 of 11. I can probably run through a lot of the underlings. No, wrong button. Alright. I've seen all this. Oh, she's surprisingly cool with it? Nice. You set out on your venture outside the castle. The change of atmosphere fights you. I've already done this. I wonder if anything's gonna be different. I wonder if anything's gonna be any different since the Overlord let me go. So in the beginning along those fights, I decided to take a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current Overlord and put a new ruler into place. They want to hear if you're in or not. If you're in or out. And being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. This is gonna kill me. It's actually not so bad, you guys. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask them what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle, you understand, right? There are claws tightened around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. This is pretty messed up. This is a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. Faithful underling end. Okay. I think I need every ending. So, gobble her up. Minutes aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second's thought, and you feel quite proud of that. The humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander into the nearby village. The people are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. Put on a show. I guess I need every ending. You attack the nearest human. He's old and weak, and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience screams grow louder. Applause! You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should do the voice. Hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. As you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero running towards you. He takes you out in one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think, that was totally worth it. The curtain closes. Performer underling end. Reset the stage. Change your mind and leave. You figure if people are this upset at just the sight of you, they won't fully appreciate any terrible acts you'd commit. Also, they might fight back. That probably wouldn't end well. You're just one little underling after all. This day has been adequately refreshing. You return to the castle thinking you'll take a nap. You won't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. I've seen this. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them that you were just joking and clarify that you're totally in to win it. In it to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. Beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle and talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this. You can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You see her in the Overlord's room. She's taking a nap like usual. It's almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. Chicken out. You don't want to kill her. You can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room, but you find your friends blocking the exit. In a panicked whisper, you ask them to let you out. This seems to have been their way of testing your loyalty. You tell them that this is pretty fucked up and ask again to be let out. The Overlord stirs in her bed. While your head is turned, the demons shut the door. You scramble into the Overlord's closet to hide before she wakes up and sees you. There's nothing you could possibly say to explain this and survive. You're trembling, but you can't believe those assholes would bully you like this. You feel like crying. Light flickers at your feet. It doesn't take you long to realize they've set the room on fire. You hear the Overlord trying to get the door open to no avail. You're both trapped. Too afraid to move, you resign yourself to your fate. You and the Overlord burn together. Cowardly underling end. We set the stage. So this will get you in the same room. Oh, this doesn't matter if you're controlling them. Hear her out. Let's kill the Overlord. Time to die. Figured the cleanest way to do this would be to take your claws into her throat, so you do just that. She wakes up, but not in time to stop you. You watch as she chokes on her blood, cursing you before finally expiring. That felt terrible. You remind yourself it was either her or you, and you weren't about to let yourself get killed by anyone. You leave the room and find your friends waiting just outside. They look pleased, only now do you realize they must have planned to use you like this from the beginning. You're the new ruler of the castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you as you had betrayed your Overlord. Lord, underling, and B. Alright, I think that's all I can do with her for now. With them for now, I don't know. Sorry, I was looking at the Overlord. You're the Overlord? Yeah. Tell them to get back to work. Give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling and lie down in your nice, comfy Overlord bed. All that lecturing make you take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quick. Just another one of your amazing talents as Overlord. Alright, I think I saw this. You thought you told the underling to do their job, not drag strangers back to your room. It looks like they took an unauthorized break away from the castle. You scold them, but ultimately you're a little interested in this gas and you let them off easy. That's underling's not so bad. Tell her you'd better go home. You love to have all the conversations in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost, but the maiden turns out to be very stubborn. You don't want to hurt her, but you also really want her to leave in case something bad happens. This whole situation is just asking for trouble, you think. Against your better judgment, you let her hang out for a while longer. I saw all this. Keep her here. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. You tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before he can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. Take a step toward the maiden, and she backs herself into the corner. You don't understand. She wanted to stay here with you. The hero was trying to get in the way of that. You had to kill him. You'll be sure to keep this maiden very safe from now on. Salvage Overlord End. Alright, let's make the maiden obedient. Skip. Got the day off. Skip. Tell her she better go home. Put on your mean face to get lost. The maiden does what she's told and takes her leave. I think you might as well go back to bed now. We don't, that's not a different end. Day off. Let her stay. Let them go. Oh. You've almost fallen asleep, and the maiden and the hero burst into your room, frantically trying to communicate something to you. You're told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised. How nice of the humans to care, though. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was that first underling's plan. Everyone is shouting over each other now, and it's very annoying. You would yell for them all to shut the traps. You have no doubt that your servants would let their ambition cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that made you feel very overlord-like. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. The group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A and suddenly slam your door shut. You, the maiden, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die, burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. You should have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. You notice the maiden is crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into the plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry that they didn't want to have to kill you. You must feel sorry for them. Forgive them. You release the underling. Killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. Overlord's true end. What do you mean true end? Before you've taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end, you said yourself. What was the point of all my effort? The true ending is this terrible. Man, you must have forgotten where you were. This is bad end theater. Is the pain setting in? Oh, but you should have been well aware of what you'd been shown when you entered this place. What you'd be shown, yeah. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grew attached to my little cast. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that here in my theater, my lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on to the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. Reset the stage. Alright, let's do that again, but let's, I guess, kill the underling. Stay. Go. Take retribution. You pierce their chest with your claws. They scream. The hero backs away. He's wise not to interfere. They've stopped moving, but you keep digging and twisting your claws into them. Doesn't make you feel any better. The underling's corpse burns along with you and the two humans. Spiteful Overlord end. Let's do this. You wake to a huge commotion outside. A hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You're unable to defeat him. With a decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you into pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wish you could have been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, control, that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you're swallowed by darkness. Conquered Overlord end. A day off. I still gotta go home, maybe? Does the sound of battle have started ringing through your castle halls? Oh, but I didn't make her obedient, so she stayed anyways. The maiden is getting nervous, but you reassure her it's only your underling's roughhousing, no big deal. You know it's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that. Your army will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero bursts into your room. But he shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there unsure of himself. He's covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces all strewn about your castle has really taken it out of you. That hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come here for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? There's no one for this hero to save here. There was never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? The hero starts babbling insincere apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoing, but you are far beyond hearing that kind of bullshit. You have had it with these humans always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there is nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You're alone. Wrathful Overlord end. What if I just turned on everything for everyone? Huh? But I want the hero. Skip. Bravely slaughter the evil creatures. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Cut through the demon army. You gather your courage. This must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself when you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all our soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can only see one answer. Okay, so I turned on hungry, so the underling would have eaten her. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate filled you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You become strong with the hordes of demons you took down before the final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You're cut into pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. Just as you suspected, she must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. Great evil has been banished from the world, but what does it matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape and bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero end. Alright. Kill. Ask if they'll let you in. You attempt to explain why you've come, but the monster before you is eyeing you with suspicion. You can't help but notice the demon blood from earlier. You haven't had the chance to wash off yet. Whoops. No choice but to fight the army in self-defense, so well, more experience points for you. Makes your way through the castle, finding out the demons that's in your way. Is this the same? And you make it to the Overlord's chamber and hope you're still in time to save the maiden. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord, just as you suspected. But for some reason, you can't sense anything sinister happening. I love this shot. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask the maiden what's going on. She explains that she came here on her own and was never in any danger. She hesitantly asks why you're covered in blood. You don't know how to respond. The Overlord moves past you and at the door. To see your army in lifeless, bloody piles. She's wailing. It's horrible. This is your chance, hero. It's all just a big misunderstanding. You hope she'll let this whole thing slide if you could just explain yourself. You really try. The Overlord is inconsolable. She tears you apart and the maiden watches in silence. As you die, you can't help but think you probably deserved this. Tragic hero end. Alright. There's a few other options we could have done there. Slaughter. Slaughter. Destroy the Overlord. You launch forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams and falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it, after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done, slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You're remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Triumphant hero end. About flee? Ask if they'll let you in. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. They seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord and maiden seem to be in the middle of a casual conversation when you barge in. the lighter version of it. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask the maiden what's going on. The maiden explains that she was never actually captured and that she came here on her own volition. That was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do. But no one got hurt, so at least there's that. You ask her to return to town with you to reassure everyone of her safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you will casually exit the castle. You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating their overlord. This proves to you that demons are foul creatures. We have to tell her about this! You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. This world is better off with less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that to be destroyed. And those same creatures have just noticed you eavesdropping. The maiden takes off into the castle, and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into the overlord's room. The maiden frantically tries to communicate what you've just overheard. Demon underling barges in next, calling you liars. It's followed by the group from the entrance, who shifts the blame back onto the little one. These demons only care about themselves. How low can they be? You begin shouting at them. The whole room dissolves into noise until the overlord yells for everyone to shut their traps. She threatens them with violence. The overlord is no better than her subjects. You grip your sword tightly, but you have to cut through everyone here to get this maiden to safety. If you have to cut through everyone here to get this maiden to safety, you certainly will. A group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the brunt of the litter behind. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling about this. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? The underling pounds on the door, upset that it's been betrayed. You join it, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. The next moment, the overlord has taken hold of the underling. It's crying for mercy. Is she going to kill it as retribution? It continues to cry and make excuses, but the overlord does nothing. To your surprise, she lets it go. Are demons capable of mercy? I guess it doesn't matter now. You'll all burn together. Hero's true end. No matter the perspective, the true ending remains the same. That's what makes it true. You couldn't resist seeing it for yourself, though, could you? Wonder what will happen if you collect them all. Will it give into despair, or... Alright, so I think I have to do that from everyone's perspective. Introduce yourself. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the overlord. You have to warn her. The hero shakes his head. He says that this is the true nature of demons. If this is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. It isn't right, you think. What kind of hero passes up the chance to save a life? The demons have taken notice of you. It's now or never. You take off into the castle, and the unreliable hero follows shortly after. You burst into the overlord's room, all your words spilling out at once. You should probably slow down, but there's no time. The overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation, but clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognized from before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised they were a part of this evil plot. They seem so nice. The other demons come in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You're relieved when the overlord demands silence. She threatens them with violence, and you think she is very overlord-like in this moment. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. Have they locked you all in? You have a bad feeling about this. And thinking that must have jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored those demons before, you and the hero wouldn't have stumbled into this situation. If you had just pretended not to hear them, if you left as you were told, only the overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. That path isn't an option for you. Is that path an option? I don't know if that path is an option. It might be. What would I have to do to maybe do that? I'd have to make her obedient, I guess? Maybe even then she still runs back to the fire. So I don't think it is. You think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist. It simply must. The overlord seizes her underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but it doesn't make any difference. Will you all burn together? Maiden's true end. Can't end like this. You want to answer the maiden's prayers? You've decided to find a way to save everyone. Oh, is this me thinking that, or is that the face guy? The face, you know. You want to answer the maiden's prayers, you've decided to find a way to save everyone. For retracting the paths you've seen so far, retracing the paths you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you can do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? There's nothing you can do by acting from within their story. Maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. I am question mark, question mark, question mark. Ah, so I don't need to get every ending. I might do that anyways, or I might do a part 2 where I get the other endings. Or I might all do it in here. You boldly insert yourself into the story and use your incredible power to warp everyone to safety. Yeah, it's a self-insert now. I'm Y/N. Your name. You didn't know you could do that, but what's going on here? You took a moment to get a good look at yourself. You are you, but why are you pitch black? You feel that this body doesn't accurately represent you, but you move past it. The hero, maiden, underling, and overlord have been staring at you. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now. You guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. What do you say to them? Hi guys. You smile awkwardly and introduce yourself. The maiden is the first to respond. My prayers have been answered. You must be... Her god? No, you're merely the player. If there's any god here, they'd be the final boss. That's just how these role-playing games go. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. Now, enough of this. I admit I've been encouraging you all along, but a self-insert story? How passé. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. Oh, wasn't I supposed to collect, like, notes or something about tragedy? I think tragedy is the girl, the face mask gal. I think she's a gal. I'm not sure. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way onto the stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me Tragedy if you like. Yeah, her, them? I don't know. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive one of their many bad endings, right? You're alone in darkness with me, Tragedy. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying your time in my theater. Though I can't abide you stealing the show without permission. It's quite disrespectful. I'm sick of all these bad endings. Then frankly, you should never have come to a place called Bad End Theater. Why, haven't we already been over this? You think defeating me might be the only way to see a better ending. Okay, so this is also kind of Tragedy, because Tragedy is a narrator. So it's weird. I don't know whose voice I should be reading in. So that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got. Time to fight God! Yeah! I wonder if I can go back and do the other endings. I should have keep collecting bad endings. I shouldn't have rushed it. It probably let me, probably. The sage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against Tragedy itself? I'd love to see it. Defend. Try closing off your heart to protect yourself, but it doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, is that all? You'll never defeat me like that. Wait, let me try that again. Defend. Try closing off your heart. Doesn't make you feel it. Perhaps you don't understand just how outclassed you are here. Colors. Behold my beautifully tragic tales. Doesn't seeing them all again make your heart ache? You've witnessed 18 of my painstakingly crafted endings. Your heart does indeed ache for these characters. How could you want to put an end to all this? Do you truly care for them that much? They're still suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame they couldn't make it here to the end of the world. That's right, you came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Summon the underling, because I like the underling. You approach the gates of the Overlord's castle. The underling is on guard duty, as you expected. They call out to you. The other demon guard is sound asleep. Hey, you're a pretty weird-looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that no, you're not an intruder, although you're definitely intruding into their story right now. You tell the underling that they've come to save them from tragedy. Okay, try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. The underling snickers. You ask what kind of job they'd rather have. It'd be best if I just didn't have to work at all. I just want to live a carefree life and never get bossed around or picked on. Think of the underling's friends who had bullied them into an assassination plot only to betray them in the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. The true end for the underling suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way that war can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along with you just in case. The underling will now fight alongside you. I just need to get them friends. Wait, what the fuck? You didn't say anything about a boss battle. The underling, You must be desperate to call in such an unreliable ally. Huh, if I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over? Oh, but it won't be that easy. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Oh no. I will summon the Overlord. I like her too, I like all of them. You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see the fire contained to the torches on the walls. When you close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from her slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? Wait, that's not the voice I gave her. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? You explain that no, you're not here to serve her. It's more like you've come to do her a favor. You ask her why she spends all day sleeping instead of commanding her demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive with the humans, like my father before me. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. You can't help but think it's a little late in the game to be getting some new backstory. No interest in waging war on the humans. I merely wish to be left alone to live a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. You realize she must actually be very lonely, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. I wonder if she gets so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You have to change your fate. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well. I will follow you. The Overlord will now fight alongside you. I see. So this is tragedy. Ah, you've brought the Overlord. I don't stand a chance now. You prevented me from attaining peace for long enough. Prepare to die. I hope you're prepared to face your deaths as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. No! God, my HP is 11. I will summon the maiden. You happen to find the maiden as she exits the church, her heart set on meeting a demon. I think I totally changed the Overlord's voice. Perfect timing, she approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveler? I've never seen anyone like you before. You explain that no, you're not a traveler. Well, maybe you are in a sense. You've come all this way. Maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then perhaps you might be a demon? I was hoping I would meet one today. You think of all the terrible fates that hope would bring about. She is the catalyst of the story, after all. My role as a maiden is to be captured by the Overlord, but you see, I've grown so tired of waiting. Oh no, I skipped text by accident. Did I? Remember this part. She wanted to understand her role better, and so... You ask what she's really hoping to gain from this. The maiden is confused by your question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach the place she felt like she belonged. The true end for the maiden suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change your fate. If there's something I could do to find fulfillment, then please guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. What is this horrible creature? You wound me, dear maiden. Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? I remember now. I remember all the awful things you put us through. Then this should be familiar to you as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. No, I don't remember. She's just crying in that one. I don't remember the context for that. Now we're gonna summon the hero. Find the hero in his home hunched over a sewing table. Sudden intrusion scares the hell out of this poor guy. Are you some kind of demon? You explain that no, you're not a demon. You're... How can you explain it in a way the hero can understand? Said you ask what he's sewing. Oh, this? I craft all my own hero gear. You sense his pride in his hobby, you wonder if the costumes are what attracted him to the role of hero. Would you like some clothes? If you don't seem to be wearing any. Remember the state of your body and said that, yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. He's overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for the other townsfolk, so no one else wants them. The true run for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. I can make a living as a tailor rather than a hero? Please, tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero has arrived. We really couldn't have a final boss battle without him. You're the one who's been killing us. Murderer! I can't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated. We'll see about that. Tragedy attacks the terrible fate. No. Now that the whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? Which combination of behaviors will open the path to your true ending? Show me. Ambition. I'll reach my true ending with my own power. The Overlord uses her ambitious nature to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. I don't know what tendency means. Maiden can be kindness. Maiden tries to appeal tragedy with kindness. So naive, I'll balance your kindness with my cruelty. Is that wrong? Okay, hope. Okay, what's the difference? Our true endings do exist. They simply must. The maiden hopes with all their heart to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Okay, hero willpower? I guess I just guessed wrong with the maiden. Your reign of terror ends here, tragedy. I refuse to give in. Hero uses his willpower to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. I don't know what tendency is, but I'm gonna do tendency. Knock me down and I'll come back stronger. Then I'll use his tendency to overcome tragedy. This is it. With everyone's hearts united, you take aim towards your best possible futures. You all unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. I mean, she has infinite health. And now infinity got reduced to 0. You've done it. You've managed to defeat me. A tragic ending for tragedy itself. I love it. I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. Thank you, hero. Soaring heroes himself. Thank you, maiden. Thank you, underling. Thank you, overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already. Don't worry. I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you most of all. We couldn't have made it here without you. Yes, my bad end theater did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it? I wonder. No. Well, I did my best. No, she needs to have a good ending. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. You've earned this one. Here's your true ending. No! Okay, I think I need every ending in order to unlock Tragedy's good ending. Okay. Ooh, song. So I definitely need to get every ending. Yeah, the notes. I remember my playthrough. Your true end. No. What do you mean exit the theater? Enter. Don't tell me that reset everything. Oh, so you weren't done with my bad ending, so now you're back for more. You'll have to cancel out your true ending if you want to go back to the way things were before a final battle. Shall we begin the resetting process? Yeah. There are two options. If you missed out seeing on all 41 bad endings, you can keep your progress and reset to before you started the true ending, or you can erase all your progress and replay the game as if it's your very first time, and you'll have to collect everything all over again. You can't take this back, so choose carefully. Reset before the true end. Progress has been reset. You are now free to enjoy the rest of my bad endings. Okay. I think I need every good ending, or every bad ending, in order to get Tragedy's good ending. I'm gonna keep going. Day off. You're awakened by one of your underlings. A hero wishes to speak with you. But what serious events do I have for this? He inquires about a maiden who is rumored to be here, but you have never seen her. Humans don't visit often, or ever, really. As the hero takes his leave, you wonder why he totally trusted you there. Here traditionally kill demons. This guy seems like he was bad at his job, in your opinion. Whatever, you're still feeling sleepy, so you go right back to your nap. Oh no. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You try to struggle, but you can tell you're already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? Remember now, you gave this one the day off, and this is how it repays you? You die wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this. Assassinated Overlord end. Oh, the underling ate the maiden. Let's turn that off, and then try that again. Let her stay. He suddenly strikes, cutting through you with his blade. He didn't even hesitate. You've gone soft. How could you have let your guard down like that? How unfair. After all you've done to avoid this outcome, you can't outrun your destiny. The hero always slays the overlord. You should have never trusted a human. You watch as the hero escorts the maiden out of your castle. Captured by a demon. At least you got what you came here for. Join your army in eternal slumber. Slain Overlord end. Diplomatic, heroic, and dutiful, I think. stay off. Let her stay. You suddenly feel a sharp pain through your back. You look down to see a blade protruding from your chest. Oh, that was careless of you. So this is how you die, stabbed in the back by some cowardly hero. What a joke. You're supposed to be the ruthless one. I think this is when she goes out into the balcony and sees all of her dead people, and then the hero kills her. That's right. Humans can't be trusted. Now that this is what they're capable of. You should have remembered that before letting one in. He watches the hero take the maiden's hand, leading her through the sea of corpses he left in his wake. Yeah, it is. It is. When she goes out and stands on the balcony and sees all the corpses of her army, and the hero has one last chance to slay her. I think this is her perspective of it. Captured by a demon. At least you got what you came here for. You join your army and turn to slumber. That's not the same end, is it? Oh no, it is. Make the maiden go home. Make her obedient. Tell the underling that they have to stay. Underling should be disloyal. And hero has to be trusting. Trusting, obedient, disloyal. Get back to work. Tell she better go home. Wait to the sound of battle. Heroes come through your army. As the overlord, it's your job to take charge in these kinds of situations. You rush out to end this hero's pitiful existence. Vile demons! I shouldn't have believed you for a second. I shouldn't have believed for a second that you were anything but pure evil. I'll exterminate you all! You really don't know what he's going on about, but you engage regardless. Girl's gotta defend her people. I don't know when this happens. I kind of remember this. You clash again and again, but the hero isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low in health, waiting for the other to make a move when one of your underlings appears behind him. They knock the hero unconscious. You kind of appreciate it. But can't they see that was a duel? They don't respond. You sense murderous intent. Your servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. They've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slain by your own underling. Betrayed Overlord and A. Okay, I have one more ending for the Overlord, which is this one. Did I do this from her perspective? Yeah, I did. I totally did. Oh, something sharp pierces your back. The hero? No. He's already... It's one of your underlings. The maiden screams. The servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. They've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slain by your own underling. That doesn't count. It's the same ending. I don't know what that last one is. I guess I'll try someone else's. I'll try the underlings. Let's overthrow her. No, you're sick of this overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friend suggests maybe you should be the new overlord. Like the sound of that, you announce your first act of rebellion is to take the day off like you wanted. Friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. I just realized I haven't actually said yes to that option. Sneak out of the castle and have some fun. Okay, Gobbler up. Change your mind and leave. Oh, I haven't actually invented my fallen comrades, have I? Who does this guy think he is? Coming in here and killing everyone like some maniac. What did we ever do to him? You launch at him while he's busy driving his sword into the guard who sometimes brought you food whenever they noticed you were feeling kind of down. You like that guard. You wish with all your demon heart for this hero to suffer for his deeds. You bite into him, tearing his flesh from his bone. It tastes like iron. The hero struggles. You feel a sword go through you, but there's no pain, only retribution. Most of your comrades pile onto him as your consciousness fades. The hero is overtaken, your army is won. You've earned your rest. Tori's underling end. 69! Nice! So they quit yelling. Let's kill the Overlord. Sneak up to the Overlord's room, but there's a couple of humans in there. You watch the scene unfold. You aren't sure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. She approaches the maiden you brought to her earlier. The Overlord distracted, you figured this is a good chance as any. You launch into a sneak attack, hitting her right in the back. So this is when that happens. Okay, I just did that from her perspective. She flinches, the Overlord's, I mean. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. Then it's messier than you like. The maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. Wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. Tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle, your castle. You're the new Overlord. Heroic underling end. Skip. Quit yelling. Skip. Kill the Overlord. Skip. You and your friends turn to notice the maiden from earlier has overheard your entire conversation. It'd be bad for you if the Overlord found out about this. Tells her in the dungeon. I haven't done either of those. You and your friend seize the maiden and bring her to the dungeon under the castle. It's empty, save for the decorative skulls. They're only there to make you feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. You leave her in the cell to continue scheming with your friends. But now a hero has arrived at the front gates. He's asking about a maiden, perhaps the very one you just locked up. The gatekeeper, who must have seen everything, tells the hero exactly what happened. What an idiot, you think. Why give the hero an excuse to start slaughtering us? The hero yells, "Prepare to face justice!" and other such cliche hero lines before driving a sword into the gatekeeper's torso. You're small compared to a lot of your friends, so you're able to slip away without getting cut up by that sword. You get to thinking, if this hero took down the Overlord for you, everything might actually work out in your favor. You wait for things to die down before poking your head out. You spot the Overlord and hero locked in battle. They've worn each other down, making this very easy for you. Once an opening presents itself, you hit the back of the hero's head, knocking him out. What are you doing? Couldn't you tell this was a duel? You don't respond. You have to carry out the assassination. You tackle her, you rip her to shreds with your claws until she stops moving. Sorry, I've been recording for like an hour. You finish the hero next. You can't let him revive and come after you later. Kind of a cheap victory, but it doesn't make any difference. Anyone who manages to survive comes crawling out of their hiding places. You are the new ruler of the castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that one day. Oh god, is that the same? Ah, that's the same. I must have had to do the other thing. Quit yelling. Disloyal. Use the maiden for killing practice. It's just the way it has to be, you declare, before jumping her and clawing her guts out. Turns out you're already an expert at ending lives. Your friends call you a show-off. You go back to the castle to wash off all the icky human blood. As you're finishing up, you hear the sound of battle outside. The hero has come. Seeing the dead maiden must have made him pretty angry. You get to thinking, if the hero took down the Overlord for you, everything... This is the same. God damn it. Oh, there's some maiden behavior here that I haven't unlocked. Underling behavior hungry. Alright. I really haven't done much with the maiden. Introduce yourself. Tell the demon your name and explain you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps and starts biting. A lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid. You think, why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? The demon suddenly... Oh, you use scroll wheel to go through it. To go backwards, at least. You aren't angry or anything, of course. This was all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. That's actually really good for, that's a really good thing that they added for in case you misclick. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you're swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Till you are no more. Why did I say it like that? Obey her. You don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's time to go home. Along the way, you encounter a hero. He asks you what you're doing. Don't you know the Overlord's castle is like right there? You explain everything that happened. It's very surprised that demons don't seem to be as malicious as you were raised to believe. The two of you return to the village, hoping to communicate this to everyone. They had all been worried and are very glad that the hero brought you back. You quickly set the record straight. You weren't rescued because there was nothing to be rescued from in the first place. I haven't actually seen her perspective of this. The villagers seem confused and look to the hero for an explanation. He does some healing, ran into you on his way to the castle, and this isn't really a story to tell. You explain to them how you met the Overlord and that she's not actually interested in capturing maidens or other mean things like that. The villagers look again to the hero for confirmation. You feel a little miffed. They seem to prefer his word over yours, but you don't say anything about it. The hero proclaims that he believes his story, but volunteers to go talk to the demons himself just to make absolutely sure. Crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You hear words like trickery and demon sympathizer being thrown around, which makes you frown. You're pretty shocked that everyone's as hesitant to believe you. Does the hero even trust you? You aren't sure anymore. The old man implores the hero to go speak with the Overlord immediately. He says you should be held prisoner and considered dangerous until the hero returns. Much to your disbelief, the crowd agrees with him. Because of course, if you were conspiring with the demons, they can't afford to let their guard down. The whole village would be slaughtered by monsters. The hero isn't saying anything. You've been tied up and tossed into a cell at this rate. You're going to be that. If you're going to be held captive by anyone, it's going to be the Overlord, not your fellow countrymen. Leave on your own, I guess. I think that's what it said to do. You can prove yourself without anyone's help. You make a run for the Overlord's castle, leaving the hero behind. A suspicious group of demons stands just outside the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. They immediately notice you have overheard them and decide to lock you in the dungeon before you can cause any trouble. You cry out, but the demons ignore your protests. You can't believe you escaped, possibly being thrown into a cell back in your village, only to be tossed in this awful place. This is terrible. Who's going to keep those demons from harming the Overlord? You hope she can fend for herself. You sure can't. You hear the sounds of battle echoing through the halls outside. Did the hero follow you? If he's out there, your cries don't reach him. After a while, the violence seems to die down. It's impossible to tell what happened. Continue to wait, but no one comes for you. Unable to escape, you rot in that cell. Prison Maiden End. Resolute. Okay, I think we can do some more of these now. No, that's not it. I just have to stay with the maiden. The Overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. So this is her being possessive. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You leave me no choice. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Had she really been lying to you all along? You wonder if this is your punishment for questioning the divine plan. The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into the corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. But the Overlord stops, or rather someone has stopped her. Whatever held back your scream before doesn't stop you this time. The Overlord is being ripped to shreds by one of her demon underlings. You think you recognize them, but it's hard to tell with all the blood. Everyone stopped moving now. The room is silent, save for the underlings' heavy breathing. You thank them for what they've done. Even though it was awful, you feel you've been rescued from a terrible fate. They look at you, confused for a moment, but then puff out their chest. You should probably go home. This place is dangerous. You follow their advice and make your way out of the castle. You decide to never leave again for the rest of your life. Escaped, made an NB. Freeze to leave. But then a hero barges into the room. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid. It's driven from his weapon, too. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. The hero suddenly dashes toward the Overlord, sword drawn. Martyr! That's it. Protect her. You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think. You never could have imagined this would be the way you die. The roles are all switched around, but it feels right somehow. You're glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. Your vision fades. You hope that everything turns out alright for your new friend. Sacrificial maid ending. Alright, I'm gonna do the same thing, but choose the other option, just because, you know, it's there. Do nothing. The hero's blade pierces the Overlord and she lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. The hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle, past the corpses of his enemies. Try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes, but even then you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle, and the hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick. You take part in the festivities regardless. Placement maid end. Alright, this should be it. And then day off. I'll let her stay for a while, I think. Before you know how to react, he makes his move, then the maiden makes hers. She's used her own body to shield you from the hero's blade. Why? Why has this happened? The maiden falls to the floor, lifeless, as the pool of blood beneath her grows. So does your rage. The hero has taken something precious from this world. You lose control. And the hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all and become ruler of the entire world. Wow, that's a lot. Potential Overlord NB. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost in letter number 4. Why 4? What happened to the other ones? My love, do you remember when we first met? I just finished one of my scripts. One I was quite proud of, in fact. As I read it aloud, you happened to pass by. What a terrible ending, you said. Why should these poor fools have to die? You were so rude. You wouldn't accept any of my justifications, and yet you managed to convince me. It really would be better if everyone could live in harmony, however unrealistic that felt. I look back fondly on that day, even now. I wonder if, somewhere, you're thinking of me too. Forever yours, Tragedy. I need to find the comedy to her tragedy. Bring maiden to castle, get involved in the plot to dethrone. You and your friends turn to notice a pair of humans have overheard your entire conversation. They take off into the castle. Are they headed to the Overlord's room? Fuck! The Overlord will kill you for sure if she found out you were conspiring to take her out. You dash into the castle after the humans. Wait, did I miss something? No, I didn't. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars. Your friends soon arrive to back you up, except they don't. So they blame the whole thing on you. They cried that it was all your idea, and that they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe they'd tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one who didn't have a choice here. You all shouted at each other until the Overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear your traitorous friends mutter something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the Overlord and the two humans. And the room bursts into flames. You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay a lot of them. You wish that he'd get the chance. You wish that he'd get that chance. The Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You're forced into this mess. You're not sure that they would have killed you. You're sure now that they would have killed you if you sided with her. To your surprise, the Overlord spares you. Or maybe she'd rather see you suffer instead. Looking around, you've just gone from one dead end to another. The maiden is crying. The hero is silent. You all burn together. Underling's true end. I need you to not be merciful. And then that's the last end for the Underling. But the Overlord doesn't hear your pleas. She drives her claws into your chest. At least she made it quick. Traitor Underling end. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter number 3. So I have to finish each person's endings in order to get a letter. That's why it's going in reverse, because I'm doing it in that order. My love, I've been feeling a little depressed lately. Many patrons have come to my theater, but none so far have stayed to experience every tale in its entirety. The critics haven't exactly been kind, but I understand. My stories aren't exactly crowd pleasers. Despite that, you always have listened to the very end. I'm grateful for that. Hope to see you again soon. Forever yours, Tragedy. Okay. I guess I'm just doing this in reverse order. Free to leave. She vows to keep you safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Have she made it an A? Don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's time to go home. Along the way, you encounter a hero. He asks you what you're doing. You don't. Okay, wait, I've seen this. The hero seems to think you're lying to him. He asks if you've been brainwashed by the demons. What nerve! You're very upset that the so-called hero would treat you this way and leave in a huff. You return to the village alone. Everyone was very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions and you tell them your story. As you explain that the Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here, you notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an older man. He rudely calls you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Did they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating what must have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you have returned without the aid of a hero, they ask. You could not have possibly escaped the Overlord on your own without harm. You must be conspiring with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing they aren't the horrible creatures we know them to be, so they say. The people of your village always been this blinded by their fears and hatred of things they've never cared to know? You wonder how you missed that before. You're seized by the crowd and voices from all sides are calling for public execution. You are to be burned at the stake. You don't want to die. You wonder, would it have been better to hide the truth? You don't like the thought of that. You've always lived honestly. So why has this happened? Why are you being punished? You're the dissenting voices of your family and neighbors, but they, like you, are powerless against the momentum. They can only watch as you burn, and you can only cry for them. You are so sorry. This kid made an end. Okay. Bay. You're on your own. Prove yourself without anyone's help. You make a run for the Overlord's castle, leaving the hero behind. A suspicious group of demons stands just outside the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. They immediately notice you overheard them. The underling you recognized from before is the first to do something about it. This is just the way it has to be. They suddenly attack you. In that moment, you regret having ever trusted the demons. You die instantly. Slaughtered maiden end. I think refuse to leave. The Overlord claws pierce the underling's chest. They scream an awful scream. She digs and twists her claws into the poor thing while you continue to pray. There's no saving of any of you now. You, the Overlord, the hero, and the underling's corpse are consumed by the flames. Devout maiden end. The letter flutters from beyond the curtain. We found lost letter number 2. My love, I finally fulfilled a childhood dream of mine. Yes, that's right. I opened up my very own theater. You'd be so proud. If you could only see it. I know how much it would have meant to you to be at my side on opening night. I'm sorry for going ahead without you, but I thought if my theater could become world famous, then maybe you might just hear of it wherever you are. Forever yours, Tragedy. Alright. It's just the hero now, and then we're done. And you flee from the demons. I mean, you pride you escaped with your life, but you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden on your own if you can't even fight the lousy demon underlings. Take your chance with the castle. Okay, wait, I've seen all this. Can I say she can't be trusted? Have I done that yet? You aren't sure you should listen to this maiden. You've been taught your whole life that demons are evil. You ask if she's sure about all this, but she gets very upset that you think she would lie to you. She storms off before you can say anything else. You decide to return to the village, certain that she must have been the kidnapped maiden you were sent to rescue. Glad that took care of itself. Take your time walking home. Job well done today, you think, to yourself. As you walk past the town square, you notice the whole village is crowded around. Is that the maiden you saw earlier? She's bound to a wooden stake. The crowd is in frenzy. Smoke begins to rise and stand idly by as flames consume the maiden. She must have done something horrible to deserve that. She seemed nice, though, you think. But evil comes in all forms, you reassure yourself. You decide to call it a day and return to your house. You can't escape that sinking feeling. Maybe you aren't cut out for this role. Spectator, hero, and A. Flee. Ask if they'll let you in. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden. The Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. So the maiden is eaten at this point. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says that she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever. At least that's that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. Either? I don't know which one. I think it's either or either. Doesn't matter. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Useless hero end. They'll let you in. Ask the maiden what's going on. But the Overlord objects to this. The maiden tries to tell her that she'll come right back, but the Overlord refuses to hear it. The maiden seems nervous. As a hero, it's your job to mediate situations like this. You tell the Overlord that if she doesn't let the two of you go, you'll have to assume she's evil. You'll be forced to vanquish her. You leave me no choice. The Overlord pauses before suddenly jumping you. You're helpless as she disembowels you with her claws. How horrible. You came all this way, only to be met with this cruel fate. You should have destroyed these evil creatures while you had the chance. Your dying wish is for the maiden to somehow make it out of this alive. Naive hero end. Okay, that was a new ending. I was worried it wouldn't be. Flee. Diplomatic. Destroy the Overlord. That seems like a lot of sparing people just to kill Overlord. You lunge forward to put an end to the evil Overlord, but your blade pierces the maiden instead. She has sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The Overlord wails. Why did you do that? You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The Overlord strikes at you in a vengeful rage. You parry, and she's slain. Your sword feels heavy. Doesn't she usually kill him there? You look at your hands, your clothes. Blood. So much blood. You look to the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. Why would she protect the Overlord? She must have been brainwashed by demonic magic. You pick up the Overlord's head, wrapping it in your cape, and begin your long journey back to town. You will say that you were too late, that nothing could be done for the girl, but the Overlord is slain. There will be celebration. Loyal hero end. Two more endings. I had to do some math real quick. Believe her story. Whoever didn't seem to be lying to you, even though her story is kind of hard to believe, you feel you should trust her. Okay. When you reach the gates, you ask the demons if they've seen the maiden. They have. They inform you she's being held in the dungeon at the moment. She trusts them, and in return they lock her up. Demons are truly evil beings after all. Demand they take you to her, but they do not let you pass. You should have expected as much from these unreasonable creatures. You know what you must do. You thrust your blade through the demon before you and rush to the castle alone. You're the only one who can save the maiden now. What the fuck are you doing, killing all my soldiers? That sounded really weird, but that's because I was getting too loud while I was doing that. I realized halfway through I got too loud, so I just quieted down, and then it just sounded weirdly cartoonish. There's other people in this house. The Overlord is angry. You vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. You clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health. Everything goes black. Your quest has come to an abrupt end. Unlucky hero end. So that's when the underling gets him. Alright, last ending is just Overlord is not merciful. Oop, it's this way. Please. Has to let you in. That's what's going on. She thrusts her claws into her underling's chest and it lets out a horrible scream. You back away, you won't be the next target of her rage. She continues to dig and twist her claws into its limp body. You can no longer watch. Look to the maiden, she's crying, hands clasped together in prayer. To have faith in a time like this, you envy her. The two of you, the Overlord, and the underling's corpse are all consumed by flames. Resigned hero end. Letter flutters from beyond the curtain. You found last letter number 1. My love, it just isn't fair at all, is it? For them to force us apart like this. It's unreasonable. Cruel. I had to find an outlet for this grief somehow. So I decided to write, and I'll keep writing until the day you find me once more. And then maybe we could write a story together. I'm waiting for that day. Forever yours, Tragedy. And now, I think we can get Tragedy's good ending. Can't end like this. Alright. We can skip through this. Because we've already seen all this, so thank God. Defend. Try that again. Defend. Okay. Release all 41 of my painstakingly crafted endings. You must be as much of a masochist as me. Commend your thoroughness. Surely these characters have a special place in your heart. They're still suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame you couldn't make it here to the end. It's a shame they couldn't make it here to the end of the world. Sorry, I'm getting excited. That's right, you came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Alright, I can skip. Alright, I've seen all this. I've seen all this. Yeah. Skip. 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 Willpower. Alright. Hope. Not kindness. Tendency. What does tendency mean? Is it tendency? Ambition. Alright. Oh, I'll stop skipping from here. You will unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. Ha ha ha! You've done it. You've managed to defeat me. What's this? Log? Backlog. Tragic ending for tragedy itself. I love it. I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. Thank you, hero. Thank you, maiden. Thank you, underling. Thank you, overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already. Don't worry, I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you most of all. We couldn't have made it here without you. Yes, my bad end theater did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it? I wonder. No, I need your ending. Well, I did my best. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's your true ending. That can't be it. No! That can't be it! How do I get the good ending? Can I skip this? Can't. We have to sit through it again. It's a good song, to be fair. That is a look. I love that. They all truly have looks. Oh, the old man is nice. Oh, they live together. I love that. Look, look. The pages are all there. The pages are all there. It's different. They weren't all there before, I don't think. There's gotta be like an after credits sequence. Is that new or is that old? Is this a new verse? Or was this here before? Yeah, this is new! This is new! All the pages! This is a new verse. The pages, they weren't there before. Your true end. But what about tragedy's true end? Something's missing! Oh, you're still here? The curtain is closed for the final time, shutting down my theater. There are no more tragedies left for me to tell, after all. There's one more. Me? You'd like to know why I started this theater? Because I'm obsessed with bad endings, of course. Remove the mask. Gently raise your fingers at the cracks in my mask. Piece by piece, it falls apart in your hands, revealing. Should have warned you. This might affect what you think of my stories. Can't help but compare my face to the maiden's. I'm not her, but it's not like she isn't me, necessarily. It's how it is with fiction. Would you like to hear, not another ending, but the truth? Tell me. Alright, one last story. You may already know this, but it doesn't have a happy ending. First, I'll set the stage. In this world, there are no such things as demons, or even heroes, really. There was a girl eager to set out to fulfill some sort of destiny. That part was true. She met someone, another girl. Running theme, isn't it? The maiden and the overlord. The two were inseparable, and for a time, everything was just wonderful. But their families, the communities they came from, neither could approve their relationship. That is a reality for many. This pair was no different. Despite their best efforts, the world was intent on pulling them apart. We used to like the types of stories where love conquers all, where the strength of your love will pull you through any hardship and everything is okay in the end. I lost her, and then I started this theater. This story does have a happy ending. Huh? Ah, the girl! I was hoping to find you. It's you. It's been so long. I thought I'd never see you again. You always think of the worst endings. I wasn't about to give up just because things got difficult. Why didn't you reveal yourself sooner? I feel like such a fool. I'm gonna say the same to you. You knew I could never resist your story, giving your stories a happy ending. So of course I would be drawn to a place like this. Yes, but I didn't think it would actually work. Sometimes everything does turn out okay in the end. Thank you for reminding me of that. I love you. I love you too. Now, truly, everyone can live happily ever after. Tragedies end. That's so cute! Oh, I love that! I love that so much. Ugh, this game was so good! God, this game is so good. I love this game. Everyone go play this game. It's not that expensive, I don't think. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and coming along on this journey of so many bad endings and then some very, very good ones. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!